We talk to ourselves all day long. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's actually happening inside your mind when you repeat a specific affirmation? When you say something like, I am confident, or everything is working out, are those just empty words floating into the air? Or is there this massive, invisible machinery firing up right beneath your conscious awareness? Well, the answer is actually rooted in how our brains are physically wired. And that brings us right to the core thesis of our explainer today. Affirmations are not magic spells. They are instructions. We're not looking at this through some mystical lens today. We're exploring the hard, concrete, psychological, and neurological mechanics. Because every single time you affirm, your subconscious goes to work on those instructions in very real, measurable ways. So, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're exploring the architect of belief, how affirmations reshape the subconscious mind. I'm super excited to map out exactly how these mental practices actively rewire your brain, step by step. Let's dive right in. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with beyond magic words, then we'll explore the subconscious spotlight. From there, we'll look at rewiring the brain, navigating internal resistance, and we'll wrap up with reshaping your reality. Let's start with section 1, beyond magic words, the captain and the crew. Okay, to really grasp this, we first need to understand that your subconscious mind literally never switches off. It's kind of like a ship. Think of your conscious mind as the captain and your subconscious as the crew. The captain gives the commands, right? And the crew just carries them out. The crew doesn't debate morality or logic. Its only job is pure execution. So when you repeat an affirmation, you're really just handing the crew a brand new standing order. So what happens next? Well, once that crew gets a repeated command, say it's something like, I am becoming more confident, your conscious mind might initially be like, no, you aren't. But your subconscious immediately goes to work. It starts scanning your memories, your experiences, your surroundings for matching evidence. All of a sudden, you remember a time you nailed a presentation or handled a crisis perfectly. The subconscious is just doing its job, following its new instruction. Moving on to section 2, the subconscious spotlight, filtering reality. Your brain is taking in millions of bits of information every single second, but you consciously notice only a tiny, tiny fraction of it. This filtering system is called your reticular activating system, or RAS. Think of it like a flashlight in a pitch-black room. Whatever your subconscious deems important gets illuminated, and the whole rest of the room just stays hidden in the dark. Your affirmations literally tell that spotlight exactly where to shine. The absolute easiest way to understand this is the red car effect. Imagine you just bought a bright red car. Well, suddenly, you're going to see red cars everywhere on the highway. Now, they were always there, you just weren't filtering for them. Affirmations work the exact same way. If you affirm abundance or confidence, your subconscious adjusts the spotlight. Opportunities and examples of your own strengths that were completely invisible to you before suddenly light up. Section 3, rewiring the brain, physical changes. We're not just talking about abstract floating thoughts here. We're talking about actual physical biology through a process called neuroplasticity. Your brain physically changes and strengthens neural connections based on what you repeatedly think. Affirming is like hacking a brand new pathway through a really dense forest. Those first few times, it's tough and the path is barely visible. But after hundreds of repetitions, the brush gets cleared, the dirt gets packed down, and it becomes the absolute easiest automatic route for your brain to travel. But listen, it's not just about dry, robotic repetition. You need emotional catalysts, things like feeling, conviction, gratitude, excitement, and certainty. Emotion acts exactly like hearing your name shouted in a crowded room. You immediately snap to attention. It signals to your subconscious, hey, this is highly important. Words alone definitely create change, but words drenched in heavy emotion, that drastically accelerates your subconscious programming. Let's look at section 4, navigating internal resistance. The clash. So many people assume that if they feel doubt or fear when they start affirming, the practice is just failing. But actually, scratch that. The total opposite is true. Friction is proof of change, not failure. When a new belief enters your mind, it forcefully bumps into years of old, existing conditioning. This internal resistance is just the natural, totally expected clash between your past and your future. Don't mistake that resistance for failure. It's literal, physical proof that the rewiring process has begun. Finally, section 5, reshaping your reality, identity to results. Most people try to force changes in their external circumstances directly, but your subconscious works strictly from the inside out. Step 1, your identity shifts. You genuinely start to accept, I am a disciplined person. Step 2, that identity naturally dictates your behavior. You suddenly feel motivated to act. And step 3, the external results inevitably follow. As your actions change, your physical reality simply begins mirroring your new internal identity. From a manifestation perspective, the subconscious acts as the literal bridge between your imagination and physical reality. By repeatedly impressing a desired idea onto the subconscious, it goes right to work organizing your opportunities, filtering your perceptions, and guiding your decisions toward that specific outcome. It is the invisible mechanism that literally makes imagination tangible. Let's look at this complete chain reaction, because it's fascinating. It begins with a single thought, your repeated affirmation. That thought shifts your perception, commanding your internal spotlight to find new evidence. That shifted perception then automatically influences your behavior. And finally, your altered behavior dictates your results. Every single physical change in your life traces all the way back up this exact chain to that initial affirmed thought. So, to bring it all together, every affirmation is a seed, and it requires repetition, emotion, and persistence to grow. Now, not every seed sprouts overnight, but make no mistake, your subconscious is not ignoring you. It is always listening, always learning, and with every single repetition, it's cultivating a completely new internal reality. Affirmations aren't about convincing the outside world, they're about reconditioning the deepest layers of yourself. I want to leave you with this final thought. Knowing that your subconscious is always listening like an obedient crew, and knowing that it will actively alter your perception, your neural pathways, and your reality based on the instructions you give it. What affirmation are you planting today? What instruction will you consciously choose to give your mind right now? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.